we need to think of a new advert for freebets.com.
Get your best betting offers from freebets.com.
Yeah, that'll do.
The following deals are now live.
Matt Lenihan, Boxing Social in association with freebets.com, Empire Fight Store and Forged Irish Stout. Delighted to be joined by Rhiannon Dixon. Rhiannon, look, I've not been to this gym before. It's a busy old gym. Your feet are cut to shreds, but apart from that, how are you feeling?
You know what? I'm all right. That's what I'm saying. Like, with my foot, you probably can't see it, but it's bleeding. And I'm scared to take my sock off now because I don't know what's there. Is there a toenail? Is there not? I'll have to get Ross to have a look at it before I sort it out.
Well, look, you've got a huge fight coming up, chance for you to become world champion already. How are you feeling yourself, mentally, physically? Obviously, you look in great shape, you're putting a lot of hard work in, but how are you feeling?
I'm just so excited. Like, I feel like there's a massive buzz in the gym now. Like, Bobby and Will have got their fight dates. Like, James has got his, and there's just a massive buzz in the gym. And, like, when it got announced, like, we thought we were going to be defending the European, and then Paul was like, oh, there's this chance to fight for the WBO, and I was like, oh my God, 3 fights, 3 titles. Yeah. So I'm just excited, you know. I know it's a big step up, and it's a step up that I'm ready for, and I'm excited for, so I just can't wait. And it's in Manchester, yeah. So yeah.
Why is now the right time for that step up? You'll have seen improvements in yourself from your first fight to now, but you mentioned there's a jump. She's got a lot of experience. Obviously, we've seen, if you look at a record of over 20 fights, lost to Katie Taylor on the record, but you know, that's not going to be the first girl to lose to Kay, won't be the last. So why is now the right time for you?
I feel like with each of my fights, I don't look like the same fighter. I'm making progression all the time, and I can see it in the gym. And you know, my coaches Anthony and Dom, we're very confident in myself and the progression that I'm making. And I feel like with women's boxing, it's like you kind of get these opportunities and you've got to grab them with both hands, because why else are you in the sport for? So no, I feel like it's the right time, and I feel like I just can't wait to be world champion.
Aside from that as well, you mentioned on the women's side of the game, you feel like the big fights are only ever like they're always closer to getting made, up until maybe last year, because we're seeing a lot of good fights getting made now, but there's always like people will go up and down in weight and do what they want. Is that what sort of separated the women's game, the fact that people would make them sacrifices, maybe go up a couple of weights? You know, Natasha Jonas, she bounced up weights to become world champion. Michaela Mayer's done the same, she's moving up and down the weights. Is that what sort of made the women's game, you know, what it was?
I think it just makes it more exciting. Like Serrano came up from featherweight to super lightweight. 7 divisions, yeah, I know. And then Katie's going up to super lightweight. So it's like you never know where anyone's going to be when you're a world champion, because like I thought, oh, when I get there, like Katie will be the world champion. Like she is the world champion, but she's up in super lightweight now. So you never know where you're going to be and what opportunities lie. So no, I think that's what makes it more exciting. Like who thought that Michaela, like Natasha and Michaela probably were on both each other's radar when they were at super featherweight, but now they're both fighting at welterweight. I think, do you know what I mean? So I think it's what makes it good, and the best are fighting the best. So yeah.
You mentioned earlier about improvements from sort of fight to fight. You've seen a different version of yourself. Do you sort of thrive under the pressure situations, because you've got obviously a good promotional team there in Matchroom in terms of exposure, the bigger events? Do you sort of, when you go to the event, is there that the nerves there that maybe keeps you sharp? I spoke to Will about this. You know, when you get that feeling of, you know what, I'm excited, but that's what's keeping me locked in.
Yeah, I feel like with me as well, though, because obviously I came from white collar, there's no expectation of me. Like, I'm not some Olympian where everyone's like, oh, she's going to be a million-time world champion. It's like, I came from white collar, it's like, oh, who thought we'd be here? I didn't, do you know what I mean? So I feel like we're just both enjoying the journey. And I think initially when I was on the Matchroom, like, I found it really daunting at first, because obviously I'd only fought in, like, nightclubs and, like, places, not on the street like nightclubs, but like white collar events.
Street fighting.
Not street fighting, but like white collar events. And then obviously to be in an arena, it was quite daunting at first, but I feel like I've come into it and I'm not that nervous about it anymore. I feel like I enjoy it and I thrive off of it.
Right, let's go on to Caroline Dubois. So, she's obviously accused you of pulling out at the fight with her, said you weren't quiet as a mouse. Her words, not mine. But obviously you've got an opportunity to win a world title here, and I suppose that makes that fight down the line a bigger fight. What do you obviously say to that, and what happened with the whole Caroline Dubois situation?
So what happened is I think we got made mandatory for the WBO, and I think we were made mandatory for the IBF. We've gone down the WBO route. I think, is it Beatrice is now mandatory for the IBF, and are Caroline and Beatrice fighting now, or?
Well, I don't know whether that's been locked in, but I think that's the fight.
Yeah, so they're going to fight, and then obviously later down the line it makes for a bigger fight when we both come in for a world title. The quiet as a mouse, I don't understand. I'm not very vocal on social media anyway. I think if you look at my Instagram, it's probably just me taking the piss out of Ross or James. So I'm not
it is.
exactly. Do you know what I mean? I'm not this like brash person that goes on arguing social media with people. I'm not really. It's not that deep. Like, I've got what I'm doing, and I'm excited for it. And I feel like that's a fight that's going to come down the line. That's a fight I'm excited for. But to go on social media and be arguing, I
think it was Sky. I think I read there was an interview with Sky when they were asking about it.
Oh, same thing. Like, I don't go on Twitter, so it's like people say, "Oh, this has been said," and I'm like, "Well, what am I going to go on Twitter for and just argue with someone?" Like, I'm not.
Have you come away from that? So you've seen, you know that fight's there anyway, kind of thing. Providing you both do what you're expected to do. Obviously, you're making this jump up in levels, but have you sort of thought about that moment of being crowned world champion, because it's a huge moment? You mentioned there you've come from a white collar background. If you look at the men's side of the game, Fabio Waldler came from that side too, and he's now flying. Have you sort of manifested that and thought, what that moment is going to feel like?
It's like I think about it, and like I say to, and like, oh, what are we going to do when we do? We have to do like some mad pose after it or do something. He never takes me on, and I just get left hanging. So I don't really plan for it, because I just think, I can't wait to share that moment with Ross, because obviously, like, people don't see this other side to it, but like when I'm doing all my sprints and everything, like, he's there with me all the time. Like, I don't give him as much credit as he deserves. Like, he does my fight week diet with me, weight cuts with me and everything.
Really?
Yeah.
Puts himself through that hell as well.
Yeah, well, because he can't be eating chicken nuggets and chips next to me whilst I'm doing my weight cut. I mean, Carl makes, my nutritionist now, Carl makes it a lot easier, but like, I've got that support from him, and I feel like when I do it, it'll just be a massive moment for me and for him, so I'm excited to share it with him.
I know when you said you came into this sport without many expectations, this, that and the other, but now that you're on the verge of something, and not to look beyond it, because you've a job to do at the end of the day, and she's a very good fighter, experienced, but have you sort of set them goals now of where you can go? Because now you know where there isn't really that ceiling of, you've come over, but you've got your wins, got a good promotional, world champion. Have you sort of looked further afield and gone, you know what, in like 18 months' time, I'd love to have done this, and this?
See, I don't really think that much ahead, because obviously I've got Karen Carabajal in front of me, so I've got to just focus on that. And like, Dom keeps me very grounded, because he's like, this is a hard fight, and he's in there, he's doing something. It's a hard fight. We need to get through this and just fully concentrate on that, and then kind of see where everything's at. Because like, you know what you say, people move weights and do X, Y, and Z, so you don't know where you'll be at in 18 months' time. So no, I've got this fight, and then I'm looking forward to what's after it. But what that may be, I don't know.
Well, look, have you got a message to people who get behind you, your sponsors, everybody who's behind you and willing you to become world champion in a couple of weeks?
I just want to say thank you so much for everyone who's... I've had such a crazy support of people like saying, oh my God, I can't believe you're fighting for a world title, and it means the world. Like, honestly, you don't understand. I'm trying to get through all my messages on Instagram, and I'm trying to write messages back to everyone. And my sponsors as well. Like, obviously I was working in a hospital beforehand, and they've given me the opportunity, so I don't have to do that anymore, and I can focus fully. And that's why I've got opportunities like this, fighting for a world title, because I can train full time now. And so obviously they've changed my life, and I can't actually thank them enough. So I'm just really grateful at the moment for where I am at.
Well, look, Rhiannon, we're looking forward to seeing you go out and do your thing. A good step up, but probably one that you're ready for now in terms of how your career has gone. And yeah, hopefully we catch up after the fight.
Yeah, and it'll be WBO world champion.
We'll catch up soon. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you very much.
We need to think of a new advert for freebets.com.
Get your best betting offers from freebets.com.
Yeah, that'll do.
The following deals are now live.